What's up, everybody? On today's episode of Why'd I Buy a Mini Truck, we got a lot done. So let's just start way up here in the front. This is on both sides, but I got the new air fittings installed. You can see them right there. Got them all sealed up. So we're doing 3/8 outer diameter hose, and those are DOT fittings with a 1/2-inch adapter on the bottom. If for some reason we have any issues with them possibly getting close to the control arms, which I doubt because I checked it out, and even with the wheel off of the ground, if the truck was like jacked up, there's a super slim chance it would even rub. So I think we're good there. Inside, we have routed and installed the door poppers. Now there's some silicone on there. It is going to be drying overnight, but that's just going to make sure that we have a nice waterproof seal. Did it on the other side as well. And then we have these lead lines here that are going to go to the battery. If we bring it under here, you can see where they're at right there. Just a cool little waterproof button, nothing crazy. So tomorrow, we're going to be doing the lines in the back and replacing both bags. Going to go ahead and pull the bed off, which should be very fun. Now if we come over here real quick, there's a couple things I did in here. So I did land a new ground wire right here. Runs over here to the block. I got a new ground wire here from the body to the block. And then we're going to run another one. We're actually going to run two. I think tomorrow we're going to run them from the battery when we locate the battery back here. We're going to go to the body, to the chassis, and then on the power side we're going to go ahead and do, I'm going to run a 160 amp breaker. I have one of these 60 amps, but it's not going to be enough for what we need to do. So we're going to go like 160. I'm going to put it back there just after the battery hookup point. I was going to do a lug in the front to come from the starter and the alternator wiring, but I have long enough wire that we're just going to go ahead and run it clean to the back, to the breaker, from the breaker to the battery. We should be good. Now I do want to install this battery kill switch somewhere, and I would like it to be inside the car. I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to put it. I actually might just make it the air compressor signal switch. Since this truck does lay frame, if that was out and off, you wouldn't be able to move it even if you were trying to steal it. So I think what I'll do is the wiring, which by the way I got in today, got ourselves this nice little pressure switch. So it's going to come on at 170, shut off at 200 psi. So this will be really nice. So basically the signal wire that's going to come from here and receive power, we'll put a little break in there and possibly put the master kill switch on that, just so it's a little something I could take with me, leave it out like if we're at shows or something, so I could leave the thing unlocked. So these fittings right here are great. Now they don't have the center portion in here, the DOT portion. So some people say that these are more prone to leak if there's like excessive movement. I do have 8 of them. I am going to be putting these on the end of the valves, since they are 1/2-inch to 3/8 outer diameter. The way that the lines are going to be, there's not going to be much movement in those, so they should be okay. We will later on upgrade to these fittings right here. Now, these fittings are going to go on the rear lines, and we're just going to go straight up. We're not going to run an adapter or anything like on the other ones. On the fronts we have 90s like this. Now I was considering doing 90s like this when we go to run to the manifold, but for now, since we are going to be running a valve setup, I'm going to go straight up, so this way we can just get the cleanest route through here. Now I may cut back the bed more since we are going to be doing a custom kind of like cover here anyway. I might cut the bed up another 6 inches or so, just to have easier access to the tops of both of the bags. And then when we build our wood bed, the cover we're going to get from here, we're going to get from Roadie Fab. And after that goes on, we'll put an access panel in this portion here. Now back here, I do want to do like a cool little cover just to keep the compressors, the tank, everything kind of like hidden. Thinking about just doing some kind of MDF or possibly just like an aluminum cover that'll bolt on with some well nuts, and then maybe have like a little window so you can kind of see some stuff that's going on here. But I would like to keep it protected from the elements, especially since we do not have a cover back here. Tomorrow we are also going to be addressing some of the wiring that's running through here, since we will have the bed off, which will be great. Got a buddy of mine coming over to give me a hand, which should be fantastic, easy peasy. So tomorrow morning I'm going to get out here, we're going to clean a lot of this up. The loom is all done. We just got to run the main powers from this harness back to the battery, which we already got the wiring ready to go for that. Bed comes off tomorrow, and that'll give us a better look too at some of the suspension here. So I'm sure some of you have noticed that these are just bolt heads welded for the shocks. We are going to do something a little different here. We're going to just go ahead and put a shock mount right here and kind of give it a little bit more room to breathe. I would like to relocate this tank later on, or even just go with a fuel cell in the back, kind of hidden underneath the bed, but that's another time, another place. For now, our main focus is making sure the wiring harness is good, making sure the air system is good, make sure it's all wired up. We do already have my harness ready to go here. So I've got 2 relays. I've got it set up so we're going to have one compressor on, or both compressors on. And this is just if I just need a little bit of love or a lot of love. And we'll just see kind of what happens there with that. Now, since we are going to run that pressure switch, I might just use that kill switch, like I said, since it does lay frame. Or I might just find some way to run that into a main ignition switch, since I would like to leave the windows and stuff down at shows and have the back windows open, and you don't want anybody messing with your stuff. So on tomorrow's episode, you'll see a lot of that stuff happen, and hopefully we don't find any more surprises like this loom here. So stay tuned, and I will see you later.